All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ShoutCraft Group C, and we are currently in the lower bracket, and this matchup is going to be between MaSa from Team Root and Suppy from Team Evil Geniuses, and we, of course, have the pleasure of seeing them both on camera today. So, Suppy, Hello Kitty's a sneaky little bastard, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I even looked at his match history like an hour before the games, and I like saw him doing those builds. Not the Blink one, but I saw him doing that 1 gate to 5 gate stalker or zealot thing. So I made like a really early Roachhorn, but I was like not expecting it to come that fast, so I still died to it, so that kind of sucked.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, and apparently not Dark Templar.
I mean, he made a Twilight Council. So
we were on our edge of our seat, seeing whether or not he would actually do as you predicted, but nope, afraid not. Afraid not. Okay, now you've got to face against a Terran opponent. Now, you obviously have had some pretty damn good history lately against Terran, taking out both Young and Hart in 2-0 sweeps. How confident are you feeling going up against MaSa, who is obviously someone you probably run into on the ladder quite a lot?
Actually, I don't hit him that much on ladder, and he doesn't practice with me even when I ask him, so I'm a little bit scared. MaSa's really good. I watched the games versus Kane, and he looked really good. I think if he didn't forget Stim in that first game, like, he would have won for sure. And then I haven't gotten a chance to practice as much with like the Muslim and stuff after WCS because my WCS group for round of 16 is like no Terrans, so
Okay.
I've been focusing more on those matchups. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do against MaSa. He's really good.
So, MaSa, we just saw your teammate go through 4-0 looking like ridiculously strong, and Hello Kitty didn't put up really much of a fight. You, on the other hand, as Suppy accurately pointed out, in that first game, you were looking really good, but you did end up slipping up by forgetting Stim. So, how are you feeling about your Terran versus Zerg right about now?
Well, before the match against Kane, I said I was really confident on TVZ. Now I just kind of look like a dumbass. That I got too old by him. But yeah, right now I just want to prove that TVZ is my best from this game.
Okay, sounds good. So, Suppy, as we go into this one, you had such a great performance in WCS, and yet now you're actually fighting for elimination here from ShoutCraft. Does that make you feel okay? Is that knocking your confidence around a little bit?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, I was expecting I was gonna beat Hello Kitty, even though I knew he prepared. But I mean, it's kind of understandable because I've been studying. I have like the weekend before WCS, I played like 30 hours. But then this week, I've like not been able to play as much because I've been studying. So I kind of expected it to not do as well. But I was still hoping that I would still be in good enough shape to make it out. But hopefully, I can still make it out.
What kind of person puts their education in front of a video game? Damn. Well, MaSa,
Yep.
this is it. It's time for you to prove your Terran versus Zerg. Do you have any final words for Suppy before you go into this game?
I'm sorry for knocking it out.
Oh. Suppy, you can't let that stand, surely.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna lose.
Oh, dear. I think someone's been psyched out. All right, guys, thank you very much. We'll get ready for your matches right now. To your stations, and let's get into the lobby. Roddy,
Yo.
this is going to be a great series, I think. I can't see this being bad, surely.
No, I couldn't agree more. I really think that these two guys are going to be quite evenly matched. MaSa is surprisingly good. I'm sure that he's still a lot better than a lot of people think he is. Yes, he's shown some sparks of brilliance in his play against Kane, but it wasn't like a performance that people would really remember. But I really do think that it's going to give Suppy an excellent run for his money, and it's going to be close. I really think it's a 50-50 matchup.
Yeah, I think so. I cannot call this. I can't. It's too close. We haven't really seen Suppy play in this tournament against Terran, but we did see him play in WCS. But that was prepared. Like, so much preparation. And yet here, as he already explained, he had to focus on his finals. He's probably not in tip-top shape right now. MaSa, on the other hand, has had nothing to practice for but this event.
Yeah, but Suppy also seems to be a guy who's just always overall just pretty damn good. Like, he will always reach at least a very respectable level. And sure, if you really give him the time to focus on one matchup, he can obviously peak. So maybe right now he's not on his absolute best, but we shouldn't forget that was like literally not even a week ago or something. Like, it's 4 or 5 days that he played against those boys. So he should still have all the knowledge, all the new things that he learned in the matchup, and of course he still has his mechanics working for him. So all that practice is definitely like not solely useless after he played 2 best of 3s. It's still in there, it's still useful, and he should still feel pretty good about this matchup.
I certainly think so. All right, we're just going to wait for these guys to get ready. Just letting them know. Yep, everything seems to be good here. So I think we're maybe missing a caster. We wouldn't want to have that happen. Suppy's ready to rock and roll. Yep, we're going to the second lobby right now. We'll be setting up very, very quickly here. But I think MaSa's got a really good shot at taking this. That said, if Suppy plays even half as well as he did against Hart and Ryung, then I have a feeling that we could be seeing some really one-sided brutality. What I would say about the games against Ryung is that Suppy did definitely use the same build over and over again. He used Roachbane all-in against the Korean style of Terran, yeah, which is this really greedy 3cc style, which is really hurt right now by that Roachbaneling all-in. I have to wonder if MaSa will play in that style and Suppy will just break that out again, or whether we'll see a longer game.
And of course, we shouldn't forget, and I'm pretty damn sure that MaSa did see those games. And of course, when Suppy played against the Koreans, the Koreans probably know about Suppy, but I honestly doubt that like either Ryung or Hart was going to sit down and really study Suppy. Like I do not really think that that would be the case. MaSa, on the other hand, it's much more likely that he does do a little bit of homework on his opponents, so that he is a little bit more familiar, certainly after watching those WCS games, because they were just great, you know. We all enjoyed those games, everyone is watching them, and if you weren't watching them yet, you saw all the fuss there was all about on Reddit, so you're like, alright, I'm going to check the VOD, because that seems to be awesome. So he has a little bit more information on Suppy than the Koreans had, and that's something that could be pretty important too.
Yeah, certainly. We're just waiting for Suppy to ready up. Okay, we're good, and here we go. Star Station will be the first map in this particular series. This should be a good one. I don't really see this series being anything other than that, unless we again see like MaSa play greedy 2 games in a row and just get Roach Baneling busted over and over again. That's definitely a possibility. And I've got to say, Banelings have really come into their own since Heart of the Swarm. Terrans seem to be having serious problems handling them, unless they have a huge amount of Widowmines. And even then, you just build more Banelings, and because the Widowmines die anyway, because they hit the Banelings and they explode. And we're seeing like a lot of games lately where just mass Baneling is actually totally viable.
Nesty was just so ahead of the meta, man.
Yes, that does not surprise me in any way, shape, or form. Alright, folks, here we are. We are in the game, and it's going to be a blinder, I think. It's spawning up to the northeast position. In the blue trunks as the dramatic music flares in the background for this guy. The American Hope, it is
Evil Geniuses, Suppy.
Versus his opponent, the secret weapon of Root. Put on a great showing against Kane, but he's got to amp it up just one more notch, I feel, to deal with Suppy. He is
ROOTMaSa.
What are we gonna see?
You know, before we really go into this matchup, I do want to point out one funny thing that I just saw. I saw Root Kane, the guy who just played an amazing series, or actually played 2 amazing series. You guys can all follow him on Twitter, twitter.com/root_Kane. And he actually made a pretty cool tweet. Said like, went 4-0 in my group as expected, and then in between brackets, by myself. Made me laugh. Oh yeah, that's cool. He deserves it, so make sure to follow the boys. And of course, you guys can find Suppy as well, which I believe is EGSuppy. And I guess ROOTMaSa is just ROOTMaSa.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to follow Hello Kitty, that is at Liquid Ret, so feel free.
He actually is a Hello Kitty. A Hello Kitty SC2 it is.
Indeed. MaSa's doing some interesting nonsense here, actually. Yep. We saw the gas go down. This could be the double Reaper play. And this is a more conservative double Reaper play. And it's simply because he's not proxying it in a big way. But this Overlord is it going to see it? It might not.
It still is not seeing it. Oh my god.
Is it
no, it has to, oh my god.
It's right, it's right. Oh, it sees it. Good lord. It's like, he's got these 2 huge eyes on the side of its head, and it somehow misses that barracks. It sees that barracks now. It doesn't know about the gas, though. No, it doesn't. But he's probably going to be thinking, yeah, this is most likely the double Reaper play here. Bunker is going down on the ramp here.
Oh, that's interesting as well. It's going to give him high ground vision. It's going to make it even harder for Suppy to deal with this. The drone is going to spot this though. That's also important. I'm sure that Suppy knows what's going on because this map is way too big to just rally Marines across the map with 11-11. You don't want to do that. So it's much more likely that he's going to have to deal with Reapers. And I'm curious to see how this one is going to unfold.
This is the same build that FXO Neeb actually used in his matches yesterday, and it almost worked, but he didn't quite control it all that well. Oh, Ling's actually coming in from the other side here. That's a little bit interesting. If they can stop the second bunker going, that'll be great. But of course, now there's one Reaper in there, and this is well controlled already here by MaSa. A nice little bit of pressure to really keep Suppy on his toes. More Reapers will follow this up. He's going to go up to 5 Reapers. These 2 bunkers are going to be ridiculously hard to break without spine crawlers.
That's going to be so annoying. It's so hard to do. Oh, the SCV, is he going to be able to finish off the bunker? No, he's not.
Oh, great play by Suppy. If that second bunker had gone up, that would have been just ridiculous. But with only 1 bunker, this is definitely weaker. I don't think he's going to be able to get another SCV over there. Great play for Suppy to actually attack with the high ground vision and use the queen from the lower ground to finish that off. But
there's a command center going up behind all this, though.
Yeah.
We should mention it.
Definitely, yeah. This is exactly what Neeb did as well. He uses it's a very, very aggressive, slightly later expand to really force a lot of Lings out of your opponent and really do as much damage as you possibly can. And he has forced a ton of Lings out of his opponent. And look at the worker count: 15 drones to 19 SCVs here.
Oh, this is going to be such an interesting phase right now because speed is about to finish up. It's even a double command set, and more Lings are on the way. I would have loved to see him actually start mining a little bit of gas because I really think a Baneling boss would have been extremely efficient because he's going to have so many speed links. The Reapers went home in time though, and that's sick timing by MaSa that he didn't overextend, didn't lose those Reapers because keeping them alive is so important for scouting purposes.
Very, very true. And I like the fact that MaSa didn't take a risk of putting the CC on the low ground. He was very aware that the Ling counterattack was what was going to happen. But you're right, like a Baneling nest would have been so good. But he doesn't have one. And those Lings aren't going to get in. It's just not going to happen. And they're only going to be able to deny that expansion for so long. As soon as a few Marines come out, as soon as a bunker goes down, that's it.
Of course, a Baneling nest would have been quite all in as well. This Reaper is in quite a bit of trouble. One Reaper will fall.
Yeah.
And actually, I mean, I think that would be... If I was a Terran right now, I find that hella scary. Did you see that amount of Lings? It's like, oh my god, that's like over 20 Lings right outside of my natural. How likely is it that he's going to follow up with a Baneling boss? Well, it seems like MaSa's not super worried about it. He's getting 1 bunker on the low ground, but that's about it.
It's not going to finish, though. This is not going to happen. That's an instant cancel then. What Suppy's able to do here to play catch-up, which I like, is he's not killing anything, but he's threatening that natural position, saying, you're not going to get a bunker down here, I'm not going to let you do it, you are going to have to wait until you get Hellions out, you're going to have to wait until you get a good Marine count, and in the meantime, I'm going to drone hard behind this.
Suppy is sending in an Overlord in the main base. That kind of gives away that he's indeed not going for any sort of Baneling boss because, hey, if you're a Baneling boss, then you don't care what's behind it. Then you're just going to go for it. We see him going up to 3 hatcheries now as well. So MaSa probably knows that Suppy is just trying to catch up in economy as good as he possibly can. And, I mean, he is taking a worker lead. He's 8 drones ahead right now, but he's playing against a triple orbital build. And as soon as all 3 orbitals really start working and he starts mining off 3 bases, man, the first real push of MaSa is going to be a nasty one.
It certainly is. And MaSa's building up quite nicely here. He also got a good scout. He's now using those Reapers as expendable scouts, which I definitely like. You know, using them in combat, unless you're doing a really early push timing where you need every single gun on the front line, there is no real reason, because they're just rubbish. So you can use them to just scout rather than scan, and that means we're going to be seeing triple mule down like pretty much all the time from MaSa. He is going to be powering his economy ahead. He's going into his double upgrades here as well, adding on more tech, adding on more barracks.
Suppy doing the exact same thing. Both players working off double evolution chamber / engineering base right now. It's still all going to come down to that first moment when MaSa will eventually decide to move out. Where is his starport? Okay, it's building. Where is he? He's not building a starport, right?
No.
He's not?
No, there's no starport. This, I wonder if he's... Because, I mean, there's a tank coming out here. This is really interesting. I wonder if this is some kind of weird 1-1 timing with maybe 2 tanks and no starport. That would be weird, but it's not completely outside the realms of possibility. No, there's the starport coming down here. So, I mean,
he's dropping it right now, but he could have dropped it so much quicker.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a reason behind that, or if that's just a mistake. Obviously, we did see him forget Stim in the first series.
I don't know. He is moving out right now with a siege tank as well, so MVP used to have like this weird build where he would like push extremely quick, but the maps were a lot smaller back then. It seems like this is just a defensive siege tank for now, just in case he would have to deal with an insane amount of links, banelings, kind of like a 1-1 boss, something that Life did a lot against Flash or MLG.
Yeah.
I think that he just forgot that starport, man. I think he could have definitely built it a lot quicker, and I think he would have liked to have it a lot quicker. Yeah,
that seems to be unfortunate. MaSa's like a macro beast, but he makes these little mistakes from what we've seen so far in his fundamentals that are really hurting him badly.
I will ask him about it after the game, because I'm really curious. Don't want to say it's a mistake when it's not.
No.
But like, if you look at those Marines right now in the middle of the map, you could really only assume that they would love to have a medevac above their heads.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like that, right? It's a nice little bit of shade from the hot sun. But one way or the other, yeah, it's hard. It's always hard to say when you're dealing with pro gamers what is a mistake and what is a deliberate build choice.
Yep.
The third's now been taken by MaSa, and he does have a siege tank to protect it. Yes, it is a Terran building a siege tank. I know it's been a while since we've seen that.
They're making a comeback, man.
They are.
Terrans almost forgot about it, and then it's like, hey, these siege tanks are actually pretty good too, man.
Well, I mean, that's the weird thing about the meta right now, is that there's so many Terran players just building mines all the time, and Hellbats as well, that you're seeing a lot of... You're seeing Banelings a lot more as a result, and they're shutting that down really nicely. You think, well, Hellbats deal well with Banelings. They don't really, because you can't kite with Hellbats. You've got to face them head on. Your stuff's going to die, and it's probably going to be clumped up, so it's going to take splash damage. Tanks, on the other hand, of course, deal with them very, very well indeed.
Both players dancing a little bit back and forward. Stim being used right now. Banelings wiggling in, but Banelings, of course, do not want to go off creep. They need to stay on creep, so they're a lot quicker. Army Supply shows us right now MaSa at 60, Suppy just at 48. He did drop the Spire. He's already going up to Hive, by the way. Considering the way that this early game played out, that's a pretty damn quick Hive.
Well, he's goes 2-2 on a pretty good timing here, and I have a feeling he's going to try and get as early ultras as possible. Here comes the engagement. The siege tank is deployed, but not quite quick enough. Banelings will connect. MaSa pre-splits really well. Engages that pretty much as well as he could have expected here, and actually does have a significant army supply advantage now. He took out a lot of Banelings there, spreads, and takes down more creep as well. The only thing I think that's against him right now is the medevac count.
Which is indeed not very high, but 2 more medevacs are on the way. 2-2 upgrades are much quicker for Suppy, but I'm not sure if the MaSa's ever going to give him the time to actually fight with 2-2. I'm sure Suppy would love to, but he's probably just going to have to engage once more. I love the positioning on that one siege tank. It's going to be so annoying as long as there is some sort of high ground vision, which there should be, and then we can see why that siege tank is so annoying.
Yeah, a big hit there with the siege tanks. Takes out a couple of Marines himself, but it's like, you know, it's the standard idea of fire the arrows. But sir, won't we hit our own troops? Yes, but we'll hit them as well.
Small circling counter in the third base from MaSa, a couple of links trying to do some damage in that middle line. At the same time, Suppy seems like he wants to go for it. One Widow Mine connects big time though, killing 7 links.
Nice. That's what we like to see. It would have been even better to see a connect to Banelings. There's going to be a drop. MaSa's like spreading himself really thin now to try and take down this 4th base. He could get a lot of drones here actually, but Lings have already spotted it. Suppy's got to make a choice though. Where does he commit? Does he lose his 3rd here, or does he defend his 4th?
Yeah, it seems like he just wants to trade. He's like, alright, I have 4th base. Anyway, I'm not going to take a horrible engagement over here. That makes no sense. I want to buy time for not only my upgrades, which did finish now, by the way. He's on 2-2. But of course, the Ultralisk covering as well. We see the first drop right now on the left top side of the map. I love how patient Suppy is playing this. Yes, this is a painful loss, but it's better than losing the game.
Well, he's got another base as well. He actually has his 5th, which he's trying to establish here. So he can lose that, and he didn't lose any drones at it, which is perhaps the most important thing. They went to all mine on the 4th.
I have a lot of respect for that decision making, because I'm always the donkey who just like, no, I need to defend my base, and I just take a horrible fight and lose the game.
Yeah. Push coming down right here. Oh, Suppy actually didn't see that. They walked right past him. MaSa's just like, you know what? It's okay. If we just sneak really quietly, they won't notice. But there's the pickup there. Another drop comes in. That gets cleaned up nicely. Lots of Lings and Banelings. The tech has now been spotted, though.
I must say, this is so impressive. Suppy actually bought the time for himself while being down like 40, 50 army supply, literally. Like I checked, it was like 48, or like it was like 30, 80 or something really insane. And I thought there's no way he's ever gonna buy the time for himself to get Ultralisk out, but somehow he's doing it.
He is. Like, that was immaculate decision-making. You could say, oh, well, you know, he lost units. Yes, but that doesn't matter. Of course, he was going to lose units. There was no way you were going to avoid that. The idea was that he kept his economy intact, and he kept running on 74 drones. He didn't lose a lot of mining time. He transferred to the right base. He established his 5th base. He presented a juicy target for MaSa, who was not able to dedicate his entire force to one point on the map. Yeah, he lost his 3rd, but he's still now on 4 operational bases. And now, as you said, Ultralisk tech, the crackling upgrade just finished, and he's He's about to have chitinous plating. Things are looking really nice for Suppy right now.
Multiple drops going down though in the map, but Ultralisk are in position in the main base, but there's another drop on the left top side of the map as well, and Suppy's all over that one too, as he had a couple of banelings there apparently. Both players playing at a pretty high speed right now, but so far Suppy is not taking too much damage from these drops.
Nice snipe by MaSa to take out the infestation pit. Obviously, the infestation pit could be something. It was actually a really weird place to put it. It was very, very open, and it was sniped off very easily here by MaSa. Like to see that very much so. And that will help. You know, Infestors being added into the composition to help the Ultras deal with the kiting is great. Some players do it, some players just like to roll over their opponent. Oh, great Spire being spotted here. And an attack coming in on the 4th.
Those two big armies are about to clash, but losing the Greatest Spire would be really painful as well. But it seems like the Banelings and Ultras will fight over here, though.
That they will, and that was nicely done, but the flank comes in from the side here. Those Ultralists have taken no damage. Suppy with his healing style once again. He's got his queens in place. He heals the Ultralisk up. That army is just getting battered right now. The Greater Spire lives on very low health as well, so Suppy is holding on here really well, and MaSa's taking big hits.
Widowmine Madness over there. The two Ultras extremely low on HP. Those Ultras look so much more powerful than the normal Ultras, by the way. It's just not fair.
Scary. Yeah, it's like they have an enchant on their claws, like +6 of Terran slaying. It's just, it's scary as hell. Broodlord's in play now, though. Suppy managed to keep that Greater Spire alive. Ultra Broodlord is a nasty combo, and it works really well against Biomine. Just a couple of Broodlords can really ruin your day if you're putting a lot of mines down. It generally means the mines will actually detonate on your own troops rather than hitting anything meaningful.
I can't believe that Suppy managed to put himself in the position that he's in right now. Like, this game is far from over, even though he does have superior upgrades. Well, 3-3 is on the way, and he actually didn't start his own third attack. So, I guess eventually it will be even, but it is insane that he managed to get here, because it looked really, really bad for a while.
And MaSa's composition is not that great against what he's facing. He's trying to build Marauders. He's only building them 3 at a time right now, trying to power forward.
Felix?
Oh, there's a detonation coming in. A couple of Widow Mines actually hit the Ultra and not the Banelings. This drop's going to get cleaned up quite nicely. Or maybe not. Another Widow Mine connects and finishes it off. This drop is still going on, but there's only like a couple of units he's now evacuating. He's now going to the main as well. That was shut down too. He's still trying to pull his opponent apart here, but Suppy is defending so well.
Man, Suppy's Ultralisk are so good, they're even killing Widow Mines. I mean, Medevacs. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. It just like, one went down, like, what? Oh, yeah, it must have been Widow Mine Splash that killed it. I think Terran... Sorry, man, go ahead.
Even 2 Medevacs died at the same time, which looked kind of funny. It's like, man, hero Ultra.
Terran players are realizing now, I think, that mines are not the guaranteed kills that they used to be. They're very double-edged, and like you can very much exploit that by killing the units of your opponent. And as I've said before, and we've seen this actually, it was another Root player that used this tactic. It was Yu-Gi-Oh! Loves to use a small number of Broodlords against a Biomine player because it screws with mine AI so badly. As the Broodlings come in, it ends up just killing the army of your opponent.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Really loves Broodlords, man. He loves Broodlords like no one else does. He has 3-3 upgrades for his Zerglings, and then he still goes Broodlords. Because like he just hates Ultras and loves Broodlords. So it's a weird thing. A couple of Infestors spawn. A Fungal would be quite nice on the edge.
That was nicely caught out there. MaSa actually takes down one Infestor, looks to try and take that out now. He's got his 3-3, so static defense just doesn't seem to work all that well anymore, but lots of lanes coming in, engagement coming in here as well in the middle.
Yeah, actually Suppy didn't pay attention to his Corruptors. 4 or 5 Corruptors were just idling above that Marine Viking army, so he lost 4 or 5 Corruptors before the fight even started. But this is still a very scary Zerg army. It is,
but things are pretty even right now. We're looking at 3-3. We're looking at mines in play as well. It may very well come down to how well they connect. Oh, that's a second Fungal comes in. MaSa caught out of position, takes a lot of damage. Doesn't lose that much, though.
Well, that's good. But more and more Infestors are on the way. The Infest count is going to be pretty damn high soon. Broodlord's taking some serious damage right now because he lost all his Corruptors before. But the Fungals are so good. Oh my god, the Widow Mines!
They're all over the place! Widow Mines go off everywhere, but they don't actually kill that much of the army. And MaSa takes another pounding here as he's trying desperately to hold on to this. There's changelings everywhere.
Yeah, actually holding the Zelnaga Watchtower, or at least trying to. Ultras will die, but these Queens keeping most of these units alive. Where are the reinforcements? These Ultras doing a really good job. I actually think that Suppy is doing this, man. He's kind of like slowly but steady dwindling these Marine or these Bioforces down, and the Medevacs are running so low on HP. The Viking count is down. Man, this is a crazy game by Suppy.
The Ultras finally burst, and a couple of Infestors are going to die here as well, but this Broodlord is just sitting there saying, yeah, I'm just going to rain death on you. Another Broodlord comes in from the back as well. MaSa is taking a pounding. Suppy's economy is a powerhouse right now, and MaSa is just trying to hold on. Finally, it looks like the army's going to get broken here, but MaSa took some serious damage.
Yeah, he really did. Army supply shows us right now 65 against 69, of course in favor of, or 96 in favor of Suppy. More Zerglings and Banelings connecting with a couple of these remaining Marines and Marauders. How many Menefex remain? We have 4 of them, but 3 of them have absolutely no energy.
These Ultralists are just getting in there and just taking kill after kill after kill. The Queen count is now significantly lower, which is helpful. That gives MaSa a little bit of momentum because those Ultralisks cease to be immortal. Another Broodlord picked off. Nice move there by MaSa. MaSa needs to try and stabilize right now, man. He has taken a lot of punishment. Suppy's about maxed out again. He's working on +2 Flyer Carapace, adding on more Ultralisks, getting some more Queens back in the mix. MaSa's got to look towards that endgame composition, which may very well involve Ravens, but he doesn't have the tech to do that yet. He's just added on a second starport, and he's now going to try and drop again. But Suppy's on 6 base. Actually, yeah, is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases now.
The main issue for MaSa is his minerals. He just doesn't have too many minerals remaining. Even his 4th base is running pretty thin. That's why he's going to try to secure his 5th base right now, immediately dropping a lot of mules. If that 5th base goes up and running, then we still got a real game on our hands. But if somehow he's going to end up losing that, I guess this is why he wants to drop right now. Not necessarily to deal damage, but just to keep Suppy on his side of the map for a little while. Because he needs that 5th base.
Yeah, and MaSa's being super greedy as well. He's making that an orbital rather than a planetary, so he's very much vulnerable to run-bys. But he's like, I need money. I need to just mule the hell out of this and really get rolling again.
Nice fungo on top of these 2 Menefex. I have no idea why those units decide to unload over there. And we have another little Marine hit squad running into the original 3rd base from Suppy, which is now his 6th base, I guess. They might actually be able to... No, they're not going to be able to take down this head tree, but they deal a serious amount of damage.
Yep, so that's definitely snipeable later on, which is always nice. You don't have to kill it, just weaken it. It's not going to regenerate too quickly, so you can come back and kill it later. Ultra count is terrifyingly high. I mean, we're looking at 8 right now, lots of Banelings and Infestors coming in too.
Yep, we have 16 Marauders, and the Hellbat count is going to go up as well. Do we have any Broodlords remaining? Yeah, we still have 3 of them. Yeah. So those Vikings are going to be pretty damn important, because even just 3 Broodlords can mess so much with a bio army.
So MaSa's now maxed out again, so, you know, I guess they're going for like 5 orbitals is definitely a way of doing that. Mules have just been heavily mining out this 5th base, but that does mean that he's got to get a good fight. That's not a great start there.
No, that was a move command.
Yep.
But he's going to get there. Ooh, Vikings are quite clumped though. Vikings are so clumped.
Oh, they're going to get fungled hard. And I mean, he obviously just needs to bring the Broodlords down, but wow, Suppy is crashing through this right now. Fungals everywhere. Ultralisk flank comes in, and MaSa's army melts.
MaSa is dropping during all this. He's going to take out that base on the left top side of the map, but it just feels like he almost has no units to deal with all these Ultras. This is crazy.
The Ultralists are just wrecking their way through everything right now. There's 6 more on the way. Terran are struggling to deal with this late-game Ultra style, man. Even with loads of Marauders, it's still pretty hard to kill that many Ultras, especially with Fungals in play, because Ultra damage is now so high, and MaSa is falling to pieces.
All that Suppy had to do is send a couple of links to that 5th base, but it seems like he's going to go there now with his entire army. I guess he just expected there to be a planetary fortress, that's why he didn't try. MaSa's going to try to stabilize with the remaining bio units. He's still on 150 supply and of course has less workers, but beautiful fungo once more.
That was so hard to watch. That was a lot of units that are going to die here. MaSa's still driving them away, which is good, and he might be able to snipe a couple of Infestors, which is always great. Takes 3 actually, which is not too bad, but loses most of his army in the process, and Ultra just kind of cleaves in there. Bunch of Marauders just get chopped to pieces, and it's 176 to 111.
Queens are so slow though. The Queens might actually just die. Not a good funnel there on top of the remaining Marauders. The Ultralisk coming in right now. Reinforcements have arrived as well for Suppy.
A couple of Hellbats trying to deal with the Lings here, but they're just overwhelmed by the sheer weight of numbers. 180 supply to 100 right now. MaSa continuing to hold on as best he can, trying to wear his opponent down, but even after taking down that base, you're now in a situation where you just can't drop, because you need every unit at the front to defend. I think MaSa is fortunate in one thing, that, and he's about to probably lose it by the looks of it, that Suppy hasn't killed that base yet, but he's about to.
literally like 4 links could have shut that base down immediately,
completely.
or like all the time for the last 2-3 minutes, and that would have been the end. Now these queens and infestors actually a little bit exposed, so the Ultralisk is gonna have to return. That's kind of a weird moment. One Ultralisk gets caught off guard as well. Oh, fungal! Kinda hits.
Not a great one. Catches a couple of medevacs, but yeah, I mean, MaSa's doing the best he can, but just seeing mule pots flying everywhere on that 5th base was really ugly, and now he knows it's not a planetary. I can run in there. The Ultras are just gonna, I think, finish this army off now. MaSa's doing his best, but I don't see him holding anymore. This is...
This was an absolutely fantastic game from either side, in my opinion.
It was,
I cannot
yeah.
believe how Suppy played this out, but we just see these Ultras just ravaging their way through these Marauders and Marines, while that 5th base did get taken out by the Zerglings. GG is called. Man, what a really good game by Suppy. Just unreal. His fighting spirit, something we mentioned before as well. Just like this never give up attitude, and he always stays so calm. I cannot believe how he just like let that 3rd base die, and he was down like 40 army supply, but never really felt like I'm gonna have to do something. No, he's just like, I'm gonna buy time, I'm just gonna hang in there, I'm gonna let him kill this base, so he's gonna be satisfied, while I already have new bases going up in the left up side of the map. That was like the best decision making one could have possibly had, and so well done. Ooh.
He is a player that looks at the overall game. He looks at the whole thing. He doesn't focus on little battles, he focuses on a long-term game plan, and it does so well for him. And as you said, he doesn't give up, ever. He keeps fighting for as long as he realistically can. You know, I'm not talking about him being on 20 supply or his opponent's on 150. No, he fights when he thinks he's taking damage, and he thinks he's down, but he's not out. So he'll come right back and fight, and who knows where the game will end up going from there. But Suppy put on an incredible performance. MaSa played really well too. Don't take it away from him. MaSa was taking his opponent to pieces. His opening was really strong as well. Could have been even better if he'd been able to get that 2nd bunker up, but that was really close for a long time.
That was just a great game, kind of what we expected from the series. Just 2 guys who were very, very evenly matched. I'm sure that if MaSa would watch this replay, he would like kind of hit himself in the head, be like, oh, I should have just continued pushing, or at least start trading, because my army was so much stronger. Like, I could have literally just walked up to his natural as well, and maybe eventually lose my army, but I would be able to deal so much damage that my next push would be too much for him to deal with. Instead, he kind of just thought like, hey, as long as I take out this base, I should be fine. But Suppy saving all those drones, also important. Never taking that extremely bad fight when the siege tanks were in good positions. Man, Suppy is just such a likable player in so many ways. Not just for his attitude, but also for the way that he plays out these games. Because this is nothing better to watch, man. This is so much fun.
Really, really good ZBT from both of these guys. We're going to go on a quick break, folks. We're going to bring in the next game, and I really hope that it lives up to that one. And MaSa's going to have to think, can he do enough damage in the mid-game, or can he figure out a way to handle that late-game Ultra Queen composition with the Broodlords mixed in? Because everything he tries to do, and this is, you know, Terran are struggling right now with it, just doesn't seem to work quite well enough. So we'll find out in Game 2, folks. Don't go anywhere. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome back to Game 2 between these 2 players. I'd love to give you the rest of that track, but these guys just want to tear into each other right now in Akilon Wastes, and I'm not going to argue with them.
I'm definitely not going to argue with them. They're way too good for me to argue with them.
Very, very true, man. These guys are amazing. So I'm about ready to go. These guys are about ready to go as well. So we will be going into Game 2 on Akilon Wastes right about new. Alright, here it is, Akilon Wastes. Still like this map, man. I'll probably be sick of it after 40 more games on it, but I like it right now.
It's fun. It definitely produces a lot of good games to play on it. It's not bad for me as a Protoss player, even though I've been playing a lot of Zerg lately. But I don't know, there are other maps that I enjoy a little more, but it definitely produces a lot of good games from the observer point of view.
I would certainly agree with that one. Okay, here we go, folks. This guy, trying to prove himself right now, doesn't want to go out 0-4, of course. He got pretty unlucky meeting some really strong Zerg opponents, but let's see if he can bounce back. He is...
ROOTMaSa
versus his opponent. To the southeast position. The man that blitzed 2 Korean Terrans in his WCS group, then lost to Hello Kitty, trying to redeem himself here in this tournament. He is...
Evil Geniuses, Suppy.
Well, Suppy played a great game. Suppy played the same kind of style that we saw against Heart and... Well, it was mostly Heart, let's be honest. It wasn't against Ryung because Ryung, it was just Roachbane all in. But against Heart, that was the same kind of style. The late game Ultra Queen style is really hard to kill. Ridiculously hard to kill. I've heard... I would like to get your perspective on this. Obviously, I know you're not a Terran player, but you are, of course, like, pro level. So, I have to ask... I've heard some pros murmuring about the idea of Terran going late game Sky Terran with Battlecruiser Raven Viking against that kind of composition. What do you think to that?
Once they get there, then it's very good. It's actually very hard to deal with. I don't know if you watch Idra's Real Talk as well, where he basically explained that the game he left against Polt, he just felt the game was heading to that phase, and he just felt that that's an army that he could not beat. But it's extremely hard to transition into this. I mean, sure, if it's Newkirk and you split the map and you both have 6, 7 bases, then you're going to be like, cool, I can actually do that. And my Terran army is going to be very, very strong. But on maps like this, that is extremely hard to pull off.
We're going to see Command Center first here from MaSa, and then the Barracks. Again, we have seen this from him previously. A little bit of a different build from what we saw in Game 1, which was that aggressive 2 Barracks opening. But this is what he used against Kane, and he'll most likely go triple CC.
Yep, we'll probably just like at least pretend like he wants to put on some serious pressure early on his opponents.
Yeah,
just
maybe
to,
with the factory.
Yeah, just to give him a little less freedom to drone up and make it all a little bit more complicated. And after that, he's probably going to try to take good engagements as soon as he has a reasonable amount of Marines. And I think we're going to see much more Widowmine focused play on this game as well, rather than the Siege Tanks. Because I think the first Siege Tank he made in the previous game was much more for the fact of like, in case he's going to make a lot of Banelings and he tries to bust me, because I have a better economy than him. I'm just going to have a Siege Tank, because Siege Tanks are much better in those situations, because it's basically a Widowmine that shoots every 3 seconds instead of 40. So,
exactly, yeah. That's always nice to have, but as you said, tanks are not that popular in the meta right now, and Widowmines are really, really good for a lot of different reasons. Tanks, expensive units, definitely not expendable, and they require a lot of positioning, more so, I'd say, than Widowmines do. You can kind of fire and forget with a Widowmine, but not with a tank. You can't just leave it lying around.
No, they're a little too expensive for that.
Yes.
So I think we're going to see MaSa play pretty similar style to what he displayed to us in his game against Kane, and a game that I think he could have potentially won on this map as well, because he took some really good fights, and he was even prepared for those crazy counterattacks from Kane, which just like never ever stop. Yeah. So it's going to be hard for Suppy, I think.
I would have to agree.
Look at those 2 links.
Oh, that is I was going to say... Oh, alright, you can wall off there, I guess. But the Lings see the factory, which is, you know, a great piece of information. They're trying to work their way through here. They don't do enough damage, I don't believe. But, although, admittedly,
actually,
for SCV...
Actually, nah. They do enough damage, barely, but now the Marines come in to help out. So these 2 Lings will die. Yes, they do see the factory, but it would have been very, very weird if there was no factory there. I mean, TLO once upon a time used to bust out some 7 racks every now and then. I forgot against who that was, but that was pretty funny.
That was in one of the DreamHack events, wasn't it?
Yeah, the DreamHack Stockholm, the 8-player invitational, I think.
yeah, I remember that. Mega Racks was a thing for like 5 minutes, and then nobody used it ever again because it was dreadful. But it was good to throw it out there in that tournament because no one had seen it before.
Yeah, good old days. We had a bunch of crazy, funny strategies which were hot for literally a week, and then nobody ever used them again.
Yes, and for that I'm very grateful. I remember that week, actually, because every TBT I went into, it was Mega Racks every time. It was awful. It was a terrible week.
See, the first 2 Hellions are out on the map, 2 more in production, and of course the additional command center is going up in the main base for MaSa as well. On the other side of the map, Suppy is just kind of doing his regular thing. Right now, just not wanting to produce too many links, because hey, there's no need for it. But as soon as the Hellion count goes up, there are 4 on the way right now, soon it will be 6. He's going to produce some additional links.
Yeah, he doesn't really have much of a chance to do anything else. You know, he's forced into that idea. If he doesn't want to build a Roche Warren, he's got to get at least some links to say, look, you can't be too overly excited with those Hellions, because who knows how many Lings I have, who knows what kind of surround I can get on you and take you down, and then when I do that, I'll have map control. Kind of like this, maybe, but looks like MaSa kind of gave him the slip there.
Yeah, Suppy getting a little overeager there, trying to take the first fight immediately. Now only has 10 links remaining, so I think he's going to be forced to make some more links soon, because he's actually saturating that third base already, so he's really going to need some additional units.
Yeah.
And we can see them being in production right now. Also worth mentioning, Suppy sacrificed an Overlord in the main base, and he did not see that third command center.
Yeah, I have to wonder if he will assume that, having seen the games with Kane. Baneling Nest going down there. A couple of drones transferring over.
It is highly likely that he just assumes it, but it's still much nicer to get the confirmation.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got now 21 Zerglings on the field, and looking to try and get that surround, and they're going to get one, but he's going to lose a bunch of links in the process. So MaSa still has good map control here, and as you said, that saturation of the third means that Suppy's got to be concerned about defending more than one location.
Yep, certainly. Now he has enough Zerglings at least to scare these Hellions away, because right when those Hellions were there, he produced more and more links. Yep. So it is fine, but you can still see, oh, okay, MaSa not paying attention to those Hellions. Beautiful surround there by Suppy, picks off 4 Hellions immediately, and the last one dies as well.
That was pretty wonderful for him, and he will now take map control. Nice and easy.
Yep.
There's actually a Widow Mine there, but he might... Oh, no, he found the Widow Mine. Oh, there goes half the links. But at least he knows there's a Widow Mine there now.
There is something. Spire going down for Suppy as well. Suppy's economy right now is obviously good. He's up to 67 drones. Might try to squeeze in a few more before he really needs to start producing units. But above all, earlier game, MaSa did a pretty good job at slowing him down, man. Like, it wasn't just like blindly up to 67 or right now 72 drones. It was like bit by bit, forcing him to make some links, forcing him to make some more links. So yes, Suppy's economy is really good, but it's also not as good at it could have been like straight up if he wouldn't make a single bit of unit, which is obviously super risky. So I think MaSa still did a reasonable job, but he should have kept those Hellions alive, because right now he's giving Suppy a little too much freedom.
I would tend to agree. We're seeing a pretty equal upgrade count here. And a nice little bit of denial here with that Overlord. That's going to slow things down a little bit, also give him that nice scouting information. MaSa does not have combat shields.
What?
He doesn't have combat shields. He's not even researching it.
That's definitely not on purpose.
No, absolutely not. Stim and no combat shield against 1/1 lings and banelings. That's really bad.
And Widow Mines.
Yeah, that's a fair point as well. Actually, you know, the combat shields do shield quite, but has MaSa made another critical error?
Yeah, that definitely seems to be the case.
Now he researches it. This is late, man. I mean, this gives an opening to Suppy, I feel. And it also means that if MaSa wants to move out here, it's super risky.
It is not necessarily that it gives the opening to Suppy, it just makes his own push so much weaker.
Yeah.
Because right now, if he steams, he's going to be down to 35 HP. One Baneling would literally kill everything. And if those Widow Mines start shooting at those Marines, then the splash damage is also going to kill absolutely everything.
MaSa is... I think MaSa might... Well, no, he's not so much transitioning, but he's adding on 2 more factories here. I think he may decide to start building some Hellbats.
Yeah, he did that in the previous game as well, and of course it can always help out with the Widow Mine production as well in case he loses. So look how low HP those Marines are immediately. Man,
yeah, they're down to 25 HP already. That's ridiculous. You know, those 1/1 lings are going to tear through them, and banelings, of course, will be super effective. MaSa's got to be ridiculously careful here. He's trying to hold out until the combat shield comes in. Oh, there's detonation going off.
Wheel is taking one for the team here.
Yep, and that's actually fine right now. They can regenerate that. They can be used to sponge that for a while. Better that than lose a bunch of lings and banelings. Attempted drop didn't really go anywhere. MaSa's going home now, I think. It's like, no,
MaSa knows, man, that like this push, it should have came a little bit quicker and certainly should have had combat shield. Combat shield is ready right now, but of course by this time there are so many reinforcements at home which weren't part of the push, and Suppy has so many units. He's also up to 84 drones. 2-2 is about to finish up for Suppy. That was a really critical error by MaSa.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Now we're going to see Suppy roll forward here. He's got a lot of lings. He's got a lot of banelings. Widow Mines are in play, though. So MaSa is going to obviously be on the defensive for a while. MaSa does have a big army. His macro has been ridiculous. He's building 10 Marines. He's building like 4 Widow Mines. He's building Marauders and Medevacs all at the same time. And he's able to keep up with it on 3 bases. And he's also getting Drilling Claws.
More banelings being morphed in right now because the baneling count really isn't that high. 11 baneling shoots, that's good. Oh, the Widow Mine's getting a little overeager over here. Yeah, but they won't die.
Needs to be careful having Widow Mines at the front when he doesn't have Drilling Claws. They can be caught out and killed quite easily, and Medevac actually picks one off there.
Good drop at the 4th base actually of Suppy, or well, could have been the 3rd. But actually forcing a lot of units to retreat. It's going to give MaSa a better time to spread out his units as well, work on these rocks. This is going to be a pretty damn serious attack. Both players maxed out. 3 Ultras are in production, but will they be in time?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You know, without the Ultralisks here, this might work. It is a 2-2 push. It doesn't quite have Drilling Claws yet. It doesn't have Concussive Shell either. All of these would be nice things to have, but he does still have a great army. He is engaging only with small parts of it here, able to use his Medivacs in a concentrated fashion. And now, here come the Banelings. The pre-spread is already there, though. There's no flank coming in from Suppy either. This is looking great for MaSa.
Yeah, Suppy really needs those Ultras. He has Infested over here as well, though. That Fungal lands pretty good. Couple of Banelings should be able to connect big time. Ooh, Banelings go north.
They're not killing that much, though. I mean, the spread is so good from MaSa. Even if he kills stuff here, this is still a good push. And the reinforcements come in. The Ultras are now in the field, though. If he holds his 4th base, it will be amazing to see.
He will. I think he will. The Ultras are here. They're going to try to save the day. There are not too many units remaining, but still, these Ultras, they are just not going to die. There are 5 Ultras on the map. So many Widow Mines.
Good. Oh, big hit with the Widow Mines there. Take out 2 Ultras at the back here. But MaSa doesn't have any units left. Suppy somehow holds again.
More reinforcements coming in. Those Marines being microed so well, but it's kind of an unfair fight, man. They have to micro for so long against these Ultras, which are just A-moving and chopping away. Widow Mines are actually off cooldown right now in the natural.
Yeah, he's gonna do some damage, I think, with this. He might even kill an Ultralisk here, actually, if he controls these properly. Oh, nicely cleaned up just before they go off cooldown. The Overseer gets in there and they get it. That was unfortunate. You know, I think what's going on?
Gonna drop some creep on the 4th base of MaSa.
So you evil bastard. There we go. He's also like blocking off here as well, and there's a little bit there. That's pretty cool. Now I've got to ask you, RotterdaM. This scenario, it surely wouldn't have played out the same way if that combat shield upgrade was available on that push, right? Because that push looked like it was designed to hit before Ultras and do significant enough damage to stop this very army composition from coming together. Am I right there?
Exactly. That first push by MaSa is not like a game-winning push. He doesn't expect to win the game by that. What he does do, what he does expect is to make some good trades, to force out so many units, and to at least like force him to make more Banelings later on, like waste some of that precious gas, rather than just let him go up to 84 drones and let him go up to Ultralisk without a challenge. So, I mean, it's something like that. Something even when it looks insignificant, because there isn't really a fight and he didn't lose units because of combat shield, everything is thrown off for the rest of the game. It has a major impact on the game. Yeah,
and I think we saw exactly why. Because that push failed, the follow-up push, weaker and later, and Suppy had what he needed to hold it just. You know, the timings came together for him. Now we're in the same situation that we were previously, whereby the Ultralisk army is coming together. The upgrades are looking good. Upgrades are about even right now for both players, with a slight lead for Suppy at the moment. That's going to change quite quickly, though, since +3 is about to kick in. And we're seeing the Great Aspire go down. Drops are being efficiently shut down here by Suppy and prevented from really doing anything. MaSa's taking a 4th base. Suppy is on 1, 2, 3. He's trying to take a 5th right now. So MaSa's actually in a good spot in that regard and is able to max out before Suppy. The creep spread, however, is over halfway across the map. It's looking great for him.
From this point on, the drop should actually be a little bit more effective. There are Vikings on the way, which should be able to clear out these Overlords. And all the Mutalisks pretty much died. So if there was ever a good moment to start dropping, it would probably be right now with only a single Mutalisk. Now, even that one died. No Mutalisks on the map anymore. He's dropping this 5th base as well on the right top side of the map, while slowly but steady moving forward in the left bottom. Ooh,
I also like the addition of the Raven here. Just adding on a single Raven to detect...
Widow Mines!
2 more Red... Oh! Decent hits right there. Decent hits. They did hit mostly on these Ultralisks. Of course, if there are any Queens, the Queen count's actually surprisingly low this time around, so we're not going to be seeing too many Transfuses. But he's adding on 2 more Ravens at a time here. I like this. This is something that he didn't do previously. It gives him a lot of longer range splash. Also gives him detection against this creep without having to waste scans. So overall, the Raven, I think, is a great addition.
A little bit of a drop as well in the main base, but Suppy is still all over that, having some static defenses and also bringing in links in the right amount of time. But during all this, MaSa is slowly but steady securing his 5th base, and that allows him to transition into Skytower, and that allows him to get that higher Raven count. And,
yep, another Starport coming down for just that reason.
This game is far from over right now. That MaSa's army looks pretty damn intimidating, to be honest.
Yeah, he's correcting a lot of things that he did last time around, and you know, these armies look really similar, but the devil's in the details. The addition of the Ravens, the extra starports being added on, the Terran ship weapons coming up.
Oh, such a nice little move there by Suppy. In the right bottom side, there were two medevacs. One was extremely low on HP, but the Spore Crawler was focusing the other one. And I think Suppy just caught a glimpse of it, and he had like 0.2 seconds to reply to actually focus the right medevac down, and he did it immediately, manually switching targets. Well done by Suppy.
Very nice to see that cleaned up. My MaSa's drop just shut down completely. Little bits of enemies thrown down again. Falling down the edge of the cliff in a fairly pathetic fashion, but this is a good time for Suppy to engage, honestly, because there's medevacs across the map, and MaSa's army is probably at its weakest point that's been for the last couple of minutes. The Ravens get caught out before they can do anything. All right, here come the Seeker missiles. Targeting an Overlord. That's not going to do anything. One goes into the middle there, and it's going to hit that one Broodlord, but that was pretty useless. And right now, lots of Infestors moving in, but a good concave here by MaSa, trying to fight. Another Fungal goes down, though. This is so close between these two, and MaSa is able to almost, maybe... he's bringing the Vikings in right now. There, it looks like he's going to finally break it down. Good lord. So close.
More Vikings coming in right now, but yes, as you mentioned, these Broodlords ain't going home. A couple of transfusions remain, but eventually this Broodlord should die. Because I don't think any reinforcements, NTS coming in. More and more Ravens joining in the fun as well.
Oh, man. I don't think that was actually necessary. I mean, I think he should have saved that. He should have used his Vikings because that's a lot of energy. And now there's a follow-up push, like Massling streaming in here. MaSa trying to reinforce, trying to rebuild his army, but that takes longer. Suppy is trying his best to do damage with the Lings, but they are getting cleaned up reasonably effectively. We've got more units coming in, and suddenly the Sky Terran isn't doing anything because there's too many Lings on the ground.
Yeah, there are still like 64 Lings remaining, but a lot of Helvets are in production. The Vikings even landing as well. MaSa really trying to make his best to make a stand here. And oh my god, this is beautiful for Hellbats. They're gonna kill so many Zerglings over there.
What a hold, man. That was the Spartans at the gates right there. He manages to hold that down nicely. Another Fungal comes in. That's going to kill one Raven by the looks of it. We may see one, well, we're definitely going to see one dead Infestor. A little bit of damage on the second one here as well. But these Ultras continue to batter down the gates.
The never-ending battle between MaSa and Suppy. They've been fighting for a good 3 or 4 solid minutes by now. These Ultras, they are finally pushed back. The Queens are still making work as well, killing so many air units. So many transfusions going down as well, at least on this one Ultra. And now the other Ultra is getting quite a bit of love as well. More Fungals landing. This is just madness.
Oh no, it's the Hero Ultra. It's getting all the transfuses right now. MaSa's able to catch some of the Queens out. Kills one. It's probably going to kill a second one right here as well. He's still alive, but the supply count difference is massive.
Can Suppy like ever drop in supply, or where does it come from? He's just
I have no idea. He has been like around 190, 200 for the last few minutes. More Ultras are on the way. That's going to take it up to a grand total of 8. There's only 11 Marauders on the map. There is massive Marauder production, but a big Ling run by is going to hit that. A drop doesn't find anything, expecting to find a base there. It's not there yet. Planetary is down pretty much immediately. That's a lot of, his bank there was in that base, and now it's gone.
Suppy is playing some really fantastic StarCraft over here. He's just all over it, never really taking any damage of a lot of drops. There's another big drop sort of on the right top side of this map with a couple of Marauders and Hellbats. But Suppy always has a couple of units over there. He's losing a couple of Infestors. Of course, there are a few slip-ups in a game like this, but his macro has been impeccable. I have no idea where he's getting all these units from.
MaSa's still alive somehow. I don't know how that's happening, and he's catching Infestor after Infestor, Baneling after Baneling. He is fighting as hard as he can. Neural Parasite is being added in here for Suppy. I have a feeling he wants to turn those Ravens against his opponent. That's a possibility. But
that would be awesome.
That would be amazing to see, actually. But it's this Ultra army that's really scary now for MaSa. If Suppy goes in right now, which I think he should, unless he gets caught in a really awful engagement, he should have more than enough to obliterate what remains of MaSa's army here.
Couple of Fungals going down on a few remaining bio units. MaSa's still trying to drop around the map, but it's just not really doing anything. He's going to send out 2 more Medefacts to the right top side right now. 1 and 2 Banelings really connected well on the left bottom side of this map. Suppy just has too many units. That's just what it boils down to.
He's all over the place. The thing about Ultras, and this is actually something that In Control said a couple of days ago, is Ultras are really bad at attacking things. Like attacking into a ramp or into a base. Ultras are pretty bad at them. But, as he said, MaSa is dedicating to drops that just get shut down every single time. He cannot fight like this, but he also can't leave his Zerg opponent alone just to keep mining. What does he do from here?
I have no idea. How many Ultras do we have on the map? We have 11 Ultra list.
Yeah.
That's a mighty number. As long as he shuts down this 5th base right now, MaSa is going to try to retake it, but of course Suppy's not going to let that happen. It is still a pretty big army though from MaSa. Like if Suppy takes a horrible fight, this could still go either way.
Oh no, the fungal! He catches a bunch of medevacs out of position. They shouldn't have even been there, and they're all gonna die now.
That's a loss he couldn't really afford. Only 3 medevacs are remaining. Of course, this did take away a lot of energy from these infestors, but still, you know, that was definitely worth it.
Yeah, totally worth it. And the Ultras are now backing off. He realized, yep, I've got to take good engagement. Ultras can still die if they get caught in a narrow choke point. There's a decent amount of Hellbats at the front now, which is something that wasn't there previously. Working on +1 weapons, that's about to finish there as well. Pre-spreading coming in, a fungal lands on the right flank here. Are there too many units? I think he's trying to land buildings to mess with the Ultralisk pathing.
Yeah, that would have been awesome, but that wall will unfortunately for him not go up. The best thing is for Suppy though, he's going back to Broodlords. He's like, alright, I think you just lost all your Vikings, right? Yeah, that's cool, let me go back to Broodlords and see how well your Hellbats and Marauders and Marines will deal with that. Suppy is playing this extremely well and really making this a nightmare game for MaSa, despite MaSa playing pretty damn good too.
Man, MaSa's still in it, but not by much. Big Fungal goes down, again trying to use those buildings as a wall, but as you said, those Broodlords are, unless the Broodlords get caught out of position, he moves in, he gets a great concave. There's so many Ultralisks though. Can he really fight this? No, surely not.
So close. The second Broodlord was so low on HP as well, but then the Ultras came back to save the day, and all Marauders and Marines will
pieces
die.
everywhere, just armies flying. Oh, GG, what a game, what a series from Suppy and MaSa. That was amazing.
That was a really cool play from either side, and we're gonna have to wonder like how much did these small mistakes. I really want to figure out as well whether he forgot the start in game 1 or not. But overall, a really entertaining series and just enjoyable. And I really think MaSa, despite going 0-4 today, he played against 2 absolutely fantastic Zerg players.
Yeah,
2 of the best Zergs in North America, without a shadow of a doubt. Maybe even the 2 best Zergs in North America if Scarlet is in Korea.
Incredible. Awesome series. And now we get to see the match that everyone's been waiting for. Suppy versus Hello Kitty rematch.
That's going to be fun. Suppy is definitely going to be a lot more cautious than he's been in the previous best of 3. And Hello Kitty is going to have to pull a new rabbit out of his head.
Yeah. I wonder how many rabbits are in that hat of his. He was not really able to do that against Kane, but yeah, I have heard that there are many rabbits. It's got a smell in there after a while, surely.
A lot of rabbits. Man, a really fun series. Great play from either side.
That was great. That was awesome. That's why I love TVZ. Great matchup. Well, unfortunately for MaSa, that is his tournament life brought to an end. He put on a really good show. Like, I wouldn't say that any of those games weren't close. Everyone he played was knife edge. It was really, really good, but unfortunately it just wasn't quite enough today. So, sad to see MaSa go out because his play was really, really cool, but such is the way of things. We have to lose 2 people from this group, and now we will find out who the remaining player will be. Will it be Hello Kitty? Can he defeat Suppy again? Or will Suppy take revenge to go through with Kane? We will find out after this break, folks. You're watching ShoutCraft America. Do not go anywhere.